Hi, my name is Lindsay Clyde, and this is Learn, Live, Love Yourself, a podcast where self-discovery leads to self-lovery. Each episode, I am delivering fun, practical ways to peel back the layers of your life and tap into that deep down you. Changing your mind one challenge at a time, this podcast will get you loving yourself better every day. It's time to grow. Come learn, live, love yourself with me. Episode 6. How to not be a jerk on the internet. Raise your hand if you have ever been in a Facebook comment war. Have you ever been in one of those? You take forever to craft responses to Jim Bob Joe over there who just posted something berating your favorite politician. Oh, I'm gonna show Jim Bob Joe here. There's no way he's getting away with posting that kind of junk. I've done it too. But in my very minimal Facebook experience, I have realized something. What in the world are we doing? Really? We're gonna spend hours of our time engaging and thinking about this stuff? And for what? Have you actually ever had someone say to you, actually, you're right. I never thought of it that way, and I'm totally gonna change my opinion now. Because of you. No. Because none of us actually really know how to argue effectively, and when we are attacked, or feel like we're being attacked, none of us actually want to change our opinions. We just further entrench ourselves into what we already know and what we already believe. Even after minoring in rhetoric and learning the study of crafting arguments, I still have never won anyone over to my side on Facebook. The people who didn't agree with me still didn't agree with me, and the people who did agree with me still agreed with me. So what's the point of saying anything at all? If we really want to change someone's mind, I believe the internet is just not the place to do it. Because not only will people not change, but they also get super nasty. I once wrote for a blog and I posted something controversial. And that was my first mistake, okay? Everyone after that just slammed me with insults. I mean, I live in a place where I am the minority in my beliefs, and so I knew I was getting into trouble by posting this, but naively, I thought, I can change the world. I'm just going to post this and maybe people will start to see things from my point of view. No, they slammed me, insulting my intelligence, insulting my upbringing, insulting my dog. Just kidding, I don't have a dog, but if I did, they would have called it stupid. And they were just straight up calling me names. One of the comments said, "What an idiot." Like, seriously, guys? I took a long time crafting that blog post. I took real care of it. I knew it would be controversial, but I really tried my best to write it well, and I wanted the opportunity to raise my hand and say, hey, I have a different opinion. And by the way, side note, everyone's opinion is a valid opinion. We all have grown up in different environments. We all have had hugely different lives. And the best thing we can do for ourselves is to stop and to realize, in every single case, if we had led the exact same life as that person over there, we had the same parents, the same family, same life circumstances, same biological makeup, we would feel the same way they do. Their opinion is valid because it's based off of their life experience. Their opinions have been made up of everything that has ever happened to them in their lives, combined with how their brain reacted to it. So who are we to say someone's opinion is stupid? That's not fair, right? Anyway, only one person commented on my blog post, who she was still against what I was saying. She still didn't agree with me, but she wrote back in a calm, non-confrontational way. And guess what? She was the only person that I listened to. She shed some light on my opinion of the matter, and I actually took her opinion into consideration. Why? Because I didn't feel like she was going to verbally abuse me. I felt she was calmly just saying, hey, this is how I took your post, and it's because of this, and have you ever considered this? It was so nice to have someone who calmly spoke back to me. So after this whole catastrophe, I wrote another post calling for some common decency. And that post wasn't as popular, as you can probably imagine. And some people still would not let it go. They came onto that post as well and said, you deserve everything you got. You deserve all of that beratement because you're an idiot and your opinion is stupid. What? I was trying to say I was sorry. I was trying to just kind of give some context. And still, I wasn't reaching anyone. But what are we doing? When did it become our jobs to put everyone else in their place? Because do we really believe this is the way we should act? And do we believe that because there is a screen between my face and your face, or earbuds and great distances between us, that what I say to you doesn't matter? That the standards of how I behave in person-to-person, face-to-face contact don't apply on the internet? What if your son Joseph was sitting in class with his classmate Isaac? And Isaac raises his hand. And the teacher calls on him. Isaac says, I love purple. I think everyone should only wear purple. And we should only eat purple foods. And if we did, everything would be so much happier. That's what I think. And then your son Joseph raises his hand and he's like, you're an idiot. Are you serious? Purple? You've got to be kidding me. Where did you come from thinking that purple is a good color? Purple is hideous. And if we only ate purple foods, we'd all die. Isaac, you are so dumb. Don't open your mouth to talk ever again. How would you feel about Joseph doing that to someone? How would you feel if your son was Isaac? How would you feel if you were Isaac? But sometimes, if we're being honest, we've been Joseph. We've been the kid who's bashing the other kid for his opinion. His opinion's not hurting anyone, is it? It's not like suddenly Isaac comes to school and spray paints everyone purple. No, he just is saying purple makes him happy. He thinks purple will bring happiness to everyone else. But a lot of times, we hold our own beliefs and values so close and so tight that if anybody says something different from what we believe or have been taught, we immediately turn around and pounce. That's not right, that's not right. You need to believe me. Come over to my side. Or you just dismiss them and say, oh, what an idiot. Hopeless case. He's always going to like purple. Oh, just going to leave him alone. Okay, now let's learn, how are we being jerks on the internet? Let's think back to the last time you engaged in a Facebook comment battle. How did that make you feel? How did it change your day? How did you see yourself after that? How did you see others after that? When was the last time you read something online and thought, oh, what an idiot? When was the last time you commented and actually said to someone, you're an idiot? Or something like it. Do the politically controversial articles you post actually promote understanding, or does it just further divide? Are the people seeing things in a new light, Or are they just further entrenching themselves in their beliefs? Have you ever had to unfriend someone because they were just too crazy, too much posting, too many articles from the same news website? Have people ever unfriended you because you've been a little bit intense? Let's be real. It's just not helping. The only person I've ever met who has been able to do this well and has had an impact on others is my friend Darren Simpson. And he's actually going to be here next week to tell us how in the world he does that. Because it's a lot of effort, and most of us aren't willing to put in the time it takes to moderate people and moderate their comments and, tell everyone, play nice. Because it's exhausting. And often, even after all of that, it still doesn't even work. So maybe there are some of you out there, you beautiful, peaceful lambs, who are saying, oh no, I've never done that. I shy away from contention. If I see it, I just click away. I can't handle it. And that's great. Thank you so much for being that type of person. We all need to just leave the contention behind. But let's tackle this from a different angle, shall we? Have you ever been reading a book or watching a show where there's one word they keep using over and over again, and it's just throughout the show? And then suddenly you realize you are using that word in your life as well? My example is this. I always used to say rise, like when we're talking about bread. And my husband, Steve, loves to bake bread. And that's one of my favorite things about him. And so we talk about how long is this going to take to rise, right? And then the amazing Great British Bake Off comes along. And suddenly we are hearing the word prove all the time. And proof and proving drawer. And when we go to bake our bread, without thinking, I asked, how long does it take to prove? Which is awesome, right? Because I want to absorb anything that has to do with your Great British Bake Off and really Britain in general. Just love that. I'm an Anglophile for sure. But this example gives us a little glimpse into our brains and how they work. Our minds are so brilliant. We learn so fast. The things that we watch and we hear get absorbed into our brains, and then those things end up coming out of our mouths. And sometimes that's a good thing, and sometimes it's not so good. Because the same thing happens with the things that we think. We can hear these things we're saying in our brains. And if you think something long enough, you're either going to say it out loud at some point, or it is going to change how you act. And you've probably heard this before, and I'm going to say this lots more times on this show. What you think will become what you are. Here are some other questions to help us open our eyes and learn a little bit more about ourselves. When was the last time you were jealous while scrolling through your Instagram feed? When was the last time you've sent negative thoughts towards someone? When was the last time you posted a picture of yourself and thought, I look really good. I hope people really like this photo and wish they looked like me. The stuff we think on the inside counts. We could never let these nasty feelings or thoughts out of our mouths, but it's still a part of who we are. It's time for us to get a hold on that inner mean girl. And it's hard because she's a tricky beast. She's really sly. You might not even realize she's there. After these questions I've just asked, you're probably thinking, maybe, that's not me. I don't do that. I would never say something like that. But I want to see if that's true. Because if you find yourself thinking, ugh, that girl posts so many selfies, or she spends way too much money, or she wears too much makeup, or she wears not enough makeup, or she is fat, or she's skinny, or she's too happy, or too sad, or too real, or too fake, just stop it. There is a leader in my church named Dieter Uchtdorf, and he has this fantastic silver gray white head of hair, and he's from Germany, and he's very clever and very direct. And he says, this topic of judging others could actually be taught in a 2-word sermon. When it comes to hating, gossiping, arguing, ridiculing, holding grudges, or wanting to cause harm, please apply the following. Stop it. It's that simple. We simply have to stop judging others and replace judgmental thoughts and feelings with a heart full of love for God and His children. God is our Father. We are His children. We are all brothers and sisters. I just want to do a finger snap after that. I can snap my fingers, but I can't click it by shaking my hand hard. You know what I'm talking about? Okay, whatever. Just because we never say any of our mean thoughts out loud or to anyone's face, it doesn't mean that we aren't being a jerk on the internet. These things will rot our insides. Just as if we were to pour Drano down our throats, these poisonous thoughts will corrode our minds and our hearts until we truly are what we think. And we've all done it. I'm not free of it. You're not free of it. Grandma's not free of it. We shouldn't excuse ourselves because everybody is doing it. But I just want to say it to let everyone know we are all in the same boat. But it's time for all of us to get out of that boat. Okay? Because what we do to combat these hurtful, harmful, rude, mean thoughts is what really counts. Now, there are a few different ways we can live this and stop being jerks on the internet. If the Facebook comment wars apply to you, consider not engaging the next time Mr. Dylan over there says something you don't agree with. Consider meeting Mr. Dylan for ice cream to actually talk this thing over in person. And consider apologizing if you've been rude. Or even if someone thought that you were rude, even though you weren't meaning to be. It is never too late to step up and take responsibility if you've been less kind than you are capable of. It takes guts, but you can do it. And if that inner badmouther is your BFF, first, just start off by trying to catch yourself. It's really hard to see when we're saying these things. It's so ingrained in us, we don't even realize it's wrong or that we're doing it at all. You could ask a spouse or a trusted friend to point out if you ever say these things out loud. And if you are only thinking these things, that makes it a little bit harder. But some things we can do are writing on our phone's background, be nice. And every time a mean thought comes, say something out loud to change it. For example, she is so vain becomes she has confidence. She overposts turns into she's very open. And if you really just can't think of a way to spin it, just say out loud, I'm sorry I said that. So there you are, sitting in the classroom, looking through Instagram before class starts, and you see a picture of your cousin, and she is wearing something very risque and posted a picture of it. And you think, ooh, that does not flatter her. She should not be wearing that. Or, she's a skank. Just stop, get away from the picture, look up, and say out loud, I'm sorry I said that. And if there are people around you and you're feeling too shy, you're like, I can't do this, just whisper like this, I'm sorry I said that. See? Easy. And you could cover it up with a cough. I'm sorry I said that. There are plenty of options. But you need to say it out loud because we have to balance what we are saying to ourselves in our heads with what we are hearing on the outside. it is important to hear yourself say it. You listen to podcasts probably because you are partially an auditory learner. And by hearing yourself be nicer to others, you will teach yourself to be nicer to others. And it will come more naturally. And you will see these negative, mean thoughts start to fade away. Maybe some of you are thinking, what's the harm? What's the problem? What does this have to do with learn, live, love yourself? This is about me, not everybody else, right? I think that you can't love yourself if you are hating on others. It just doesn't work. It's like trying to throw mud at someone without getting your own hands dirty. It's not possible. Hey, and I know there's some of you out there going, you could wear gloves, but you'll probably spill some of that mud on your pants, so you're still dirty. If you really have this desire to make a change in the world about how people think and view different issues, if you want people to be open and consider your ideas, start with yourself. Start working on yourself. Then you can work with those you are physically present with, not friends on Facebook, not the people you follow on Instagram. Because people are so much more receptive when they trust you, they know that you have their best interests at heart, and they see that you are trying to become a better person too. So next time you have the urge to respond or lash out or throw shade at someone on the web, check yourself. We need to stop our minds and ask, is this coming from a place of love? Is the internet the best place to address this issue? And if the answer is no, let it go. Next time you want to judge someone for the way they look or act or anything you can think of, let it go. And each time we choose to step up and be bigger, we are crafting ourselves into the person we want to be. One more quote from my friend Uchtdorf here. And again, if you're not religious, that's fine. This still applies. Take this as you will and find out how it applies to you. I've found truth in this. That's why I'm sharing. Okay? He says, brothers and sisters, there is enough heartache and sorrow in this life without our adding to it through our own stubbornness, bitterness, and resentment. We are not perfect. The people around us are not perfect. People do things that annoy, disappoint, and anger. In this mortal life, it will always be that way. Nevertheless, we must let go of our grievances. Part of the purpose of mortality is to learn how to let go of such things. That is the Lord's way. Learn how to let go of such things. I love that. What do we need to let go of? Our hate? Our desire to be right? Our desire to prove someone else is wrong? I've said mean things on the internet. On accident, but people did not appreciate them. And I've said mean things in my head on purpose. I'll admit it. I'm not happy about it, but I have. And so, I want to stop. Life is hard. Life is good. But there's no time or room for us to be hateful, right? So the Pop Challenge this week, and remember, Pop Challenges, Power of Practice Challenge, they are always live. They are always going on. I happen to be doing them with the podcast listeners as the podcasts come out, but the content is still always up on Instagram. So go to the post that matches the title of this episode, and you will find all sorts of listeners trying to do these things for a week. Okay? So you are more than welcome to head on over to Instagram at Learn, Live, Love Yourself Podcast and see what everybody else is up to. For us, this week, the Pop Challenge has 2 parts. One is kind of a big ask. Number 1 is to apologize to someone. Ugh. That doesn't sound very fun. It's really hard to approach someone and say, I'm sorry for this, this, and this. But we need to practice apologizing for for things that we've done or for miscommunication. And if it doesn't help on their end, it'll help on your end. You'll be able to move forward and learn from your experience better if you stop and have the humility to say, I was wrong. I'm sorry. Okay, that's the big one. And number 2 is a daily thing. Every time you say something mean in your head, I want you to come here and comment on the post that says, how not to be a jerk on the internet. And just post an emoji smiley face, okay? Every time you say something mean, you post the emoji smiley face. And that is the reminder for you to out loud change what you have just said. So if I say, my husband, he's so muscular. I don't know. He's too muscular. He's too bulky. I wish I was bulky. I'm jealous of him. I think that, and then out loud I say, Steve takes care of his body. I'm happy for him. And then I go to the post that says, how not to be a jerk on the internet, and I post one smiley face. And the more smiley faces you have, it might seem a bad thing, like, oh, look at how many times Joanna A. from Texas posted, whoever, posted a smiley face. She's been thinking tons of mean thoughts. I would encourage you to get rid of that little judgy voice in your head, because that's a mean thought, okay? 1, that's a mean thought. And 2, I believe admitting mistakes and posting these smiley faces shows courage, and it shows bravery, and it shows I'm here to change. Look I've got problems. Look at how many times I said something mean in my head this week. But the smiley face also means that I tried to change. I made one step forward to being a better person. It's powerful, right? Okay, 2 parts of the pop challenge. Let's go. 1, apologize to someone. 2, post smiley faces after you've said something mean in your head and then you've corrected it. So you can find all of this at Learn, Live, Love Yourself podcast on Instagram. And you can connect with us on Facebook at Learn, Live, Love Yourself page. You can also go to my beautiful website that I've worked so hard on and spent so many hours and still can't figure it out, learnliveloveyourself.com. All right, my lovies, are you feeling pumped? Are you ready to get rid of that inner mean girl once and for all? Me too. She's gotta go. If I want to work hard and move forward, she has got to go. I can't wait to see what you learn about yourself this week. I'm Lindsay Clyde. This is the Learn, Live, Love Yourself podcast. Thank you for listening. Leave a review, and next time, bring a friend.